Okay, guys, I will start the stopwatch as soon as I hear Matt's voice. Guys, the effort that went into this yesterday was off the scale impressive. I did say to both groups this morning that I get occasionally one group that puts the effort in, but to get two groups, to put the effort in and the time that you put in, finishing at just before midnight, one group last night, I mean, is off the scale. It's completely unique. So whatever happens today, I just know it's going to be amazing. So, guys, I wish you all the best. Whenever you're ready, Matt, you can.
I was up till midnight last night as well, and that's not me starting to talk. But anyway, sorry, let's go back, Tony. Here.
Yeah, like I said, both teams put a lot of effort into this. So whatever happens now, I know it's going to be amazing. So whenever you're ready, then, Matt.
Good morning, all. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to MJK Construction Management. Before we go any further, I can see you all looking at the sandwiches, snacks, biltong, and still and sparkling water on the table. That's all for you. Please help yourself, sit back, relax, and enjoy our presentation. Tony, our tea boy, will take a refreshment order, tea, coffee, juice, and soft drinks, as well as hand you all a MJK Construction Management welcome pack. Okay, for those of you that don't know, I'm Matt Jones. I'll be your project manager and temporary works coordinator on the Bramley factory refurbishment. My phone will always be on for you. About myself, I've been working in construction from when I could practically walk. Come from a family of builders. I've worked my way up from a labourer to a tradesman to construction management and never looked back. I've been in management now for almost 20 years. I was the PM for Aldi Shopping Centre over the road, as well as having managed hundreds of similar projects to Bramley. Every single one of them finished in time and in budget and still standing. Okay, I'd like to introduce you to our team. Mick, our site manager number 1 and fire warden.
Hi, guys.
Marcus, our health and safety and mental health officer.
Hi, guys.
Jay, our site manager 2 and electrical health and safety compliance officer.
Good morning, fellas.
Jude, our security and traffic management officer.
Hi, guys.
And Kieran, our assistant site manager and certified scaffold inspector.
Good morning.
Okay. Agenda. Our presentation will cover project introduction, site plans, traffic management plans, site security, welfare, emergency arrangements, document control, site rules and signage, site induction, notifications and permissions, safe systems of work, mental health policy, any other business and project initiatives. Project introduction. Renovation of a brick-built 2-story 1900s factory building and conversion. Fitting out of 3 separate shops, introduction of flats on the 2nd story, renovation of the slate roof, removable of asbestos lagging from the boiler room. I also want to give you a brief breakdown of the program of works. It's a 10-week project. Week number 1 to week number 2 will be the site setup and asbestos removal, with clean air certs obtained by Friday of week 2, including all asbestos mobile welfare units removed from site. Week 3 to 9 will be the main works, commencing with scaffolding, Haki Tower and waste management chute erected, and all to be removed by the end of week 9, including all containers and cabins. Week 10, flats to be used for site operatives and site officers. Units will, with everything and everyone removed from site by end of week 2, with management and professional cleaners last to leave. Right, site plan. If we can scroll down, please, Kieran. There's the overview of the original site plan, and we've broken it up for our site plan. We can go to slide 8 now, please. Okay. As you can see, we've got a newt barrier between the open drain and site hoarding, 2-meter hoarding around perimeter of site with company packed contact detail signage. Site cabins in purple, placed there due to location of foul waste manhole, making toilets work easy. Water will be connected from flat 1, giving site drinking water. Vehicle entrance from School Road with 8-meter high goalposts and exit into Bramble Road via 3-way traffic stop. Security huts at entrance, exit with wheel check, clean and wheel clean at exit. Storage facilities in blue and mobile elevated security cameras on sites. Right, now I'd like to hand you over to Jay.
Good morning, fellas. I'm Jay, the site manager, and I'll be taking you through the traffic management. So as you can see on the plan, the direction of travel will be enforcing a one-way system, entering at the School Road gate and exiting eventually onto Bramley Road via a 3-way traffic light system. We'll also be enforcing a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit and there'll be a no stopping zone enforced with respects to deliveries and contractors visiting the site, which will be managed by the security guard. Delivery times will be between 9:30 in the morning and 14:30 in the afternoon. However, we will accept deliveries outside of these times to ease congestion on School Road, with the delivery drivers being rebriefed if they are to return not to come out of those hours. We've got 2 gates for the pedestrians located either side of the main gate, and there's crossings located either side of the car park. Parking for the site managers and contractors is located to the right of the main gate. As you can see, we encourage reverse parking only. There's a safety goalpost, as Matt alluded to earlier, which is 8 meters high, which allows a 4-meter clearance for the overhead power lines. The unloading of deliveries will be supervised by the site foreman or a supervisor at the unloading area, which is to the top left by the 4 containers. And there will be a certified banksman on site to assist with the flow of traffic and deliveries if required during busy periods. So when exiting the site, you'll be exiting onto Bramley Road, and there'll be, as I said earlier, a 3-way traffic light system that will take you into the traffic. So with that, I'll pass you on to Jude.
Hi guys, good morning. Site security system with mobile elevator secure HD CCTV camera in each of the 4 corners of the boundary. Security officer, both located at the entrance and exit, radio linked to office. All staff must sign in and out every day. And the regular patrol conducted by the security team. No entry without site induction. Staff will be issued with a wristband. And also, in addition, there's a plan emergency security officer in case if the HDCCTV camera has any issue or any problem. Next, storage facility. Container 1. Coach material signed, ventilated, and locked. And any key will be obtained with the site manager when the need arise. And container number 2, general site storage housekeeping item will be stored inside. Also, the key will be obtained when the need arise from the site manager. And the container number 3, general site material will be stored inside. And container number 4, electrical plumbing material will also be stored inside container number 4. Site storage, entrance, storage for notifiable material. That's it. I will pass on to Marcos, please.
Hi guys, as Matt mentioned earlier, I'm the health and safety manager for this project. So we're going to be talking about wildfire now. So we've assumed that there's going to be no more than 30 workers on site at any one given time. So it's going to be split breaks between them as well. So for this, we've provided 6 toilets in total. 5 of them are going to be unisex. 1 of them is going to be a disabled toilet. We're going to have washing facilities with 2 cubicles each. So that will be, like I said, it'll be split breaks. So that will be plenty for all the workers on site at each time. There's going to be 25 lockers available, which will be lockable storage. There'll also be 5 more available up in the site offices as well. So that will give us the 30 in total. We'll have a drying room, the site office with an induction room, and the first aid room will all be available on site. In terms of the canteen and rest facilities, we're going to have 2 microwaves, 2 fridges, 2 kettles, 2 toasters. Again, just make sure that there'll be plenty available for everyone when on the breaks if people aren't waiting around. Of course, drinking water will be available, and the rest facilities and canteen will be heated because we will be works will be taking place in winter. So yeah, passing on now to Mick.
Hi guys, I'm Mick. I'm site manager number 1 and the fire warden for MJK. I've been doing this about 13 years. So basically, if a fire alarm is sounded, I have a duty of care in the safe evacuation of all workplace occupants, including visitors, and to ensure that designated areas have been evacuated. I will also have 2 competent people as fire marshals to assist me to undertake these duties. I will be monitoring fire safety throughout frequent visual checks of fire escape routes, fire exits, and final fire door sets for obstruction, defect signage, and operational conditions in case of a fire, which I may add, has never happened on my or my company's watch. I will also make sure everyone evacuates in a safe and timely manner, and I will also visually search the site to make sure no one is left behind. A roll call will also be done in a fire assembly point. All our flammable materials will be stored in secure containers when not in use. We have a hot work permit for high risk activities. Our fire extinguishers are situated in every room and units. We have foam and CO2 extinguishers for inside and outside. On site with METX powder and Class C water and mist powder. Outside, we also have 5-point action notice around the site, and at the site gate, in case of a fire, I will coordinate with the fire services to make sure to tell them what type of fire it is and to make sure there's no toxic waste to harm the environment around us. I will now pass you on to Marcus again.
Yeah, you'll be hearing from me quite a lot for us the second half of the presentation. So going on to our accident plan, we've got a 3-tier system in operation on this site. So the first of that is going to be for minor injuries, so things like cuts, falls, trips, things like that. So our plan for this is administer first aid. There's plenty, and we'll make sure that there's qualified first aiders on site, and they'll always be available. These will then be recorded in the accident book. Me as the health and safety manager, I'll investigate the incident. If needs be, implement control measures, learn from the accident, so it's been recorded, and then we'll complete a return to work form if it's applicable, if the accident is serious enough. Our second tier of this 3-tier system is for major injuries. So all of the above will obviously apply to this. We've actually implemented a hospital grab and go plan here. So around the site, we'll have hospital plans, so directions to the hospital, numbers and all the contact details on the walls. They'll be pinned on the wall. And if anything serious happens, whoever's driving, whoever's going with the injured party, can just grab one of these off the wall. As Matt mentioned, like, we might not have mobile service on site. You never know what's going to happen. So it's just good to have it on paper. So you don't need any of that. You can just go straight to the hospital with that. And then from that point, obviously we'll notify the HSE for any of the riddle reportable offences. And as the health and safety manager, that'll be my responsibility to be managing that. For life-changing injuries, fatalities, immediately contact the emergency services, of course, plus all of the above whilst we're waiting for the emergency services to arrive, and preserve the scene for the HSE, because we can only assume they'll probably want to come out and investigate. But yeah, passing on now to myself. So the emergency arrangements. So as well as the 2 that we've just mentioned between me and Mick, we also have a first aid plan in place. Obviously, I mentioned the hospital plan. We have a flooding plan because we do have waterways near the site, and you can never be too careful, obviously, with it being the UK, the amount of rain that we can get. We've got spillage plans, and we're moving on to that later. We also have like an ecologist coming around and doing reports, environmental reports. But it's very important to us. So we've got spillage plans in place for any of our COSH materials, waste management plans, and we've also got confined space management as well. And then moving on to our document control. So we plan to have 6 files. First of which will be our health and safety, notable documents, and that will be our F10 and our employer's liability insurance. Obviously, they'll be displayed on site as well. This is our legal requirement, but we keep them in there as well, just for good document keeping. File 2 will be anything to do with our contractors. So in there, we'll have our contractor RAMs and our agency RAMs, which we are pretty hot on. We will make everyone sign the RAMs. Like, we're not going to have agency workers coming on site signing their agency RAMs. All the RAMs need to be signed. File 3 will be supervisor and induction and certifications. File 4, permits and our HAV register. So we'll have everything in there to do with HAVs and all the permits that we're giving out. File 5 will have the thorough examination certification, so vehicle register, forklifts, etc. And then file 6 will be for all our cost materials, so cost register, data sheets, and yeah, so on and so forth.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kieran. I'm the Assistant Site Manager and the Certified Scaffold Inspector for the project as well. Just in addition to some of the health and safety, the rigorous health and safety policies that we've just spoken through, I'll also talk you through some of our site rules and signage. It's a more informal, but just as equally crucial element of our project to uphold our positive reputation and to maintain your reputation with the local community as well. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of some of the site rules that we'll be operating and monitoring throughout the project. And we all work to the same motto, which is to keep the work environment safe and enjoyable for all. We've split our key site rules into 2 categories: the items that our operatives and our contractors must abide by, and the actions that they must not take under any circumstances. So a couple of standout rules for us: you must sign in and out every day. You must read, understand, and sign risk assessments, method statements, and cost assessments, and that applies to agency staff, as Marcus just touched on as well. In addition, all operatives on site and visitors must wear safety boots, high visibility jackets, and hard hats at all times while on site. Anyone on site must not interact with the local school children. We're obviously conscious of the fact that there's a primary school nearby, and we don't want any of our operatives interacting or harassing any local residents or school children that are passing our site. You must not bully or harass anyone. You must not use personal music systems or stereos, and you must not smoke unless in the designated area provided. In addition to our site rules, we'll be maintaining clear and sufficient signage across the entire site, and that's to maximise our health and safety controls with the teams that are delivering the works for this project. We'll have numerous hazard signs regarding cost materials, as well as access and preventing access to the site for anyone that's not permitted to be on site with our team. Fire emergency signs to clearly direct all of the engineers on site to the fire assembly point in the event of a fire drill or a fire emergency. Signage to remind everyone of the PPE rules that are in place on site, and prohibitory signs: no smoking and no phones. They'll be placed around the site also. As well as the site signage, some of our legal requirements and the information that we'll be providing on notice boards throughout the rest-in facilities and the canteen, they will include the legal requirements, their health and safety at law poster, our F10 notice, as well as our company insurances. And some of the other information that's going to be useful for everyone on site is again going to be related to the hospital plan, the grab and go plan, information as well as contact details for first aiders, fire marshals, as well as having our health and safety policy statement and a fire escape plan in the canteen area also. I'll just pass you back onto Marcus to run through our site induction process.
So talk about the site inductions. Everybody that is working on site will be receiving a site induction. So these are going to take place in the site offices in the induction room. We'll have a room specified for it. These will take place on the 3rd of the 1st for the asbestos removal contractors. So we'll have a manager come on site and do the inductions for all the guys that are coming. And then it'll also take place on the 10th of the 1st for the workforce for the refurbishment phase. We plan to have this happen on 8 AM on both days, but as it says below, we'll have ad hoc inductions will be delivered as required, because we understand that people might arrive in dribs and drabs. There'll be a manager on site ready to give inductions when they're needed. So there'll be, as I said, that will be delivered by either myself, the health and safety manager, or one of our other site managers. It's just whoever's on site at the time. But like I said, there will always be someone on site to give them inductions. What we'll be covering very briefly in the induction, so obviously things like RAMs, getting like I said, every single worker, whether they're agency, contractor, they'll be signing on to the RAMs. We'll give a brief overview of the company, our company, the clients, you guys, program of work, so what we'll be doing, fire assembly points and plans, so they know where to go if there's a fire, site rules, as Kieran's just covered, and what their responsibilities and duties are as workers on our site. We'll go through the welfare facilities and the locations, so they know where everything is, they know where to go make their tea and the toast. How to report incidents, so obviously that's quite important to me as a health and safety manager. We've got an open door policy. Anyone on site at all can come to me and report incidents. It's what we want. We want to foster a good health and safety culture here. So we'll go through how they do that, what forms to fill in for accidents or near misses. Because we do have policy for, we also have policies for dangerous occurrences as well, like not even just near misses. We'll go through the PPE requirements, what to do if there's a spillage, asbestos information, amongst a whole host of other things. Yeah, moving on now to Kieran.
So as well as some of those high standards we set for ourselves and all of the contractors working on behalf of us and yourselves as our client, we've taken a lot of time to consider the notifications and permissions that need to be in place to ensure that the project is planned effectively. And we also need to ensure that everything is in place to prevent any avoidable delays that may knock us off of our project program. So some of the notifications that we've considered and it started to implement already is early notification and engagement with local residents, engagement with the local school and the head teacher for Bramley School, notification to the environmental agency. We'll touch on a bit later on in this presentation some of the environmental controls we're going to be implementing to preserve the local environment. And we've also been in discussions with the neighbouring local farm to the site location. Permissions, we've had the F10 notification submitted and approved. Planning permission has been approved and received, and notification has been provided for the removal of the asbestos as per Matt's outline of the project programme earlier in this presentation. We've also had permission from the local highway agency to implement the freeway traffic light system so we can maintain the one-way system that we like to utilise on our sites, as well as a pedestrian crossing, which we're going to touch on in our project initiatives shortly. Just moving on to our mental health policy, I'll pass you over to Jay.
Thank you, Kieran. So there's a huge problem within our industry regarding mental health. Our aim is to increase the understanding of mental health and help reduce stigmas. Quick fact for you, 1 in 4 people experience mental health issues in any given year. So this is a huge problem. Common causes sometimes related to money troubles, marital problems, addictions, bereavement. However, it's not always easy spotting the signs. So maybe, spotting mood swings, people not sleeping well, withdrawn behaviour, or just behaving out of character, key indicators that someone is struggling mentally. So here at MJK, we think it's time to change. It's time to talk. And by starting the conversation, we listen, we reflect, and we engage. We partner with WeCare, which is a 24/7 UK-based online GP who offer mental health counselling, get fit programs, and legal and financial guidance, plus much more. But yeah, that pretty much covers our policy. So over to you, Matt.
So I'll finish off with some of the project initiatives that we've considered for this programme. Obviously, everyone in this room is aware that there's a lot of local frustration towards the ongoing developments in the area. So we've taken a lot of time and put a lot of thought into our approach and our additional offering to the local community. So in regards to preserving the local area, as mentioned, we're implementing a newt barrier that's going to be installed to protect the local wildlife. We're going to implement a no stopping zone on School Road to avoid congestion, both for the school and the ambulance station that's further along on that stretch of road. We're also going to interact with an ecological consultant to promote the preservation of the environment and try to identify any initiatives that we can implement over and above the newt barrier that we've already installed. We're going to use any spare materials such as timber from the project to build planters in local allotments. Also going to offer to repair the damaged pavement that runs alongside School Road, as well as construct additional walkways and crossings along School Road just outside of our project boundary. We'll also be offering a weekly road sweep to help prevent any dirt or excess materials that might have, in the unlikely event that they would have spilled over onto the road. We'll be undertaking weekly road sweeps. And we're also looking to install prefabricated bus shelters on the bus stops at Bramley Road. In regards to stakeholder engagement, we're looking to support local schools with career events, as well as offering work experience to anyone in the local area that may want to come onto site and experience a construction site in progress. We're going to source supply chain from 80% local businesses, install a new playground at Bramley School, as well as a donation to a local charity, an invitation to the local community to the opening day of the project, and also ongoing communication with local residents, as well as letters and other forms of communication where we provide all local residents with the contact details necessary for them to get in touch with our team if they have any complaints or any considerations they want to bring to our attention. And with that, we thank you for your time this morning and open the floor to any questions that you might have on our proposal.
Now, which is traditional at this point, let's just give that a round of applause. Come on, guys. Come on.
That was amazing.
Well, lads, well done.
Amazing.
Well done.
That was brilliant.
Right then, guys, let me just
Brilliant.
before we go into the questions, let me just update my notes. So questions. That was 25 minutes 39 seconds. 25 minutes 39 seconds. You don't want to be timing it right to the wire. You know, you want to time it falling a minute or two short so you don't run over. So
We put in the 5 minutes questions, Tony. I thought that was included in there.
no, it was quite clear on the information I sent you an email yesterday that is added at the end there, Marcus. You've let yourself down a little bit there, mate, but never mind. You're doing well so far. Right then, guys, can we have the questions then, please? Who's got the first one? Then I'll leave the questions over to Matt's team to take the questions. So can we have the first one, please?
Yeah, I've got a two-fold question, if that's okay, guys. Where you spoke about disabled toilet, does it have access ramps? Is it needed? And are there wet rooms for the disabled?
Yeah, so our disabled toilet, it does have ramps. All the facilities that we have, they have ramps going into them. So the disabled toilet will have a ramp going into it. And a wet room, the second one? Yeah. It will. They'll all be wheelchair accessible, all be friendly. They will be on the ground floor, so with ramps. So yeah.
Thank you.
There was just another part to that question, Peter, that intrigued me. He said, and will it be needed?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, will it be needed? Well, they've got a disabled toilet, so that automatically triggers that they're expecting some form of disability on board. So
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, may I ask a brief question with regarding to smoking policy? Do you have a vaping facility? Because a lot of people are not allowed to vape on sites now.
The smoking and vaping are all classed as one on our site, and smoking and vaping will be in the smoking area.
So the vapors and the actual smokers are together.
Yeah, I'm sure if you weren't vaping, you wouldn't like someone vaping next to you, would you? And
No.
not only that, we wouldn't want the vape smoke to set off any smoke detectors.
Yeah, all I'm getting at is if you're vaping and stood next to somebody that's smoking, you wouldn't necessarily like that either.
Ah, good point. Yes, they're just apart from each other. My apologies. Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Good question, that, Paul, by the way. Very good question.
Yeah.
I'll just get back on my vape. Thank you.
I've got a question, if you don't mind. You talked about the project in general, what needs to be done, but I'm not sure I got any information as to how many people you have on site at every given point in time, or how many people you expect to be on the site throughout the project.
No more than 30.
Okay. Throughout the entire project, or at every given time on site?
At any, well, it could vary on depending on where you are in the program, but we would expect no more than 30 at any given time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we've allowed for.
And
in
that-
I said in the welfare
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thomas?
I have a question regarding your security. I'm not sure if you mentioned that your facility is completely fenced or
I did say in the beginning, 2 meter hoarding
you?
Did
around.
say, yeah, did say.
okay. And then how do you ensure that only allowed persons are coming onto the yard?
Yeah, because every staff will sign in and issue with a wristband, and there's extra security men that will be patrolling the area to make sure that everybody has been signing and have the wristband.
So we've got 2 pedestrian entrances. The one is right by the security hut, and the top
The
one
other
on
one
our plan
It's
is
locked
by
up.
our muster point, which is locked, and it's only there in the event of there being a fire that we can then get our operatives out through that pedestrian point.
Thank you for
So that
answering.
will remain locked and closed at all other times and will not be used as an entrance. It's purely there for in the unlikely event of a fire, and we have to leave the site. We're leaving the site from as far away as the fire as possible.
Good question, that, Thomas, by the way. That was one of my questions I wrote down. So so well done there, Thomas. Thank you. We've got time for a couple more questions if we've got some. Have I got to get mine out?
Let's get yours out, Tony.
What, get what out?
Easy, Tiger. It's still being recorded. This could end up on YouTube. Right. Okay. So you mentioned CCTV. Now, does it meet with the GDPR regulations? And if so, how? How have you ensured it meets the new data protection regulations?
Everything is confidential.
So confidential means the recordings are kept where?
They're kept under lock and key, and it's basically it's controlled by a security contractor. So they keep
So it's
all
kept
the
off.
data.
So it's kept off site.
It's kept off site. Yeah,
Right. Well done.
it's
So I did have another question on the back of Thomas's questions. I had those 2 questions as well. So you've got an intruder out of hours. What's the procedure for that then? Just talk me through the procedure.
so procedure.
How would you know for a start? How would you know for a start? How would you know you've got an intruder?
The CCTV cameras would detect that. It would alert our security company. They would then send operatives as well as informing the police, and they would then arrive. They would send operatives to our site and arrive there and make sure is the site safe, see if there's been a breach in the entrance or anything like that, and if need be, wait for the police and go in and assist if need be.
Okay, so you're relying on your security guards keeping on the CCTV to recognise an intruder before they actually get on site and then call the police.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what the mobile elevated cameras are. That's all part of their contract. They install it. They speak to our
And they
security.
monitor it.
And they monitor it.
A question over to Marcus. Marcus, you said you can have 2 kettles. Can you just confirm that they are new kettles so that we could take advantage of saving £10 per year as per the Boris initiative on saving £10 for new kettles?
They will be new kettles indeed. We could not ignore that advice.
If every electrical equipment apart from our laptops and maybe a bit of the office equipment would all be new, so therefore wouldn't need any pat testing as well. And obviously our office equipment is pat tested by our electrical compliance officer prior to the start of every job, and it'll be marked and labeled.
Brilliant, thank you. Paul's question, by the way, about smokers and vapors was a great question, because the HSE's recommendation is that they should be segregated because vapors don't traditionally want to be with smokers. I'm newly
You taught me
converted.
something, Paul.
I'm newly converted to veganism. So would you have a microwave that's dedicated for vegan? I might stretch to vegetarian microwave, or would everybody be using the same 2 microwaves?
That's why we have 2 microwaves.
Oh, someone would be vegetarian stroke vegan.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm just wondering, with your list of signage that was up on oh, sorry, the inductions, sorry, on the inductions you were doing, why were the dates set in the past? Why were they set in January this year?
They were just dates that I chose for the project. Like, I don't know why I chose them in the past, but
Okay.
Because we are
it was
sitting
just
in
for the-
December 21.
yeah, it was just for the purpose of it. I set them in the past. It was probably a little bit
Okay,
stupid. It was just for like the role play. It wasn't
Okay,
anything.
it's
like-
all about attention to detail, Marcus. You know that. You mentioned signage, and you've got your statutory signage. I'm just wondering if you could just talk me through the three that you had on the on your presentation on the slide there. That were the £1,000 fine if you don't display them. Could you just talk me through the three again? Because I was just a little bit unclear when you fed it
Health and
back.
safety at work.
Is one of them?
Yeah, the F10.
Is
and
the other?
The public liability insurance.
I thought that's what was on the screen there because there was a little German flag on it, wasn't there?
And I think our man Kieran did actually stipulate.
Yeah, I thought it was an insurance certificate. I just needed clarity on that. And the last one, you said you're going to be having initiatives to get in the schools and having some career events. I'm just wondering whether you'll be bringing back the Swarfiga initiation ceremony.
Yes.
Only for the young workers.
Right, let's stop the recording before this gets any worse. Right, there we go.
Yeah.